I just finished reading this book last night. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. I highly recommend it. If you have any kind of recovering story, it's fantastic. And we're going to unpack a little bit of it today on our first video in this playlist. So glad to have you along. My name is Lisa, and this is Recovering with Energy Gal. I had no idea that I was going to be adding a playlist about anorexia, bulimia, other disordered eating things, as well as body dysmorphia, anxiety, and addiction in general, as a playlist on my YouTube, until I finished reading this book. And then I thought, oh my goodness, we need to create a little community around recovering. Now, before I get into talking about what we're going to be doing on this playlist and in this community, I want to read just a little bit of the book. Chapter 78. Hello, Jennette. Hi, Jeff. Why don't you go ahead and step on the scale? Excuse me? Nowhere in my consultation paperwork was there a clause stating that I would have to weigh myself at the first session with this eating disorder specialist I found online. If I'd read that, I'm not sure I would have booked the appointment. And even if I had somehow managed to still book the appointment, I would have worn my getting weighed in public outfit, which I wear to every doctor's appointment I have, regardless of the weather, a poplin skirt and my thinnest tank top. I want my clothes to add as little weight as possible. I would never have worn jeans. God damn thick, heavy jeans. And a sweater, a lumpy, hefty, cable knit sweater. Do I have to? Yes, but you don't have to look at the number and I won't tell it to you. It's simply for my clinical purposes. I'll need to document your weight at the start of each session. I wring my hands with agitation. You seem upset. Well, I don't want to be weighed. This is just part of the process, and I totally understand how it might be upsetting. To be honest, your reaction is mild compared to a lot of what I see. What do you see? Well, sometimes people start sobbing. Sometimes they yell. Someone threw her purse across the room once. That was fun. I laugh. Facing your emotional experience is going to be the most transformative part of your recovery. That starts with facing your emotional experience around food, eating, your body, and yes, getting weighed. I'll be here to help you through all of it, but if you want to get better, you're gonna need to face all of it. Doesn't sound like there's much wiggle room here, Jeff. He chuckles, and then his chuckle ends abruptly and he doesn't say anything. He just keeps looking at me. Jeff is tall, 6'3" maybe, with kind blue eyes and a perfectly trimmed blonde beard to match his perfectly styled blonde hair, neatly swept to one side. He wears slacks, a checkered button down with a tie and a belt buckle, or a black belt with a silver buckle. His gestures are as exact as his phrasing, no uhs or ums in speech or in mannerisms. This is an umless man. I respect him. It takes a lot to be an umless man. I get up and walk over to the scale. I shut my eyes and take a long inhale, then step on it. I hear him make a note on his clipboard. You can step off now. I do. I return to the couch and sit on it. Jeff smiles at me. There's a little warmth to his smile, but it's more so the smile of someone who means business. Let's get to work. I think that if I was to say what was one of my favorite parts of the book, it was that. And it was for a number of things. I can completely, totally relate to having my way outfit, been there, done that a number of times. And I love her sense of humor, because I think a sense of humor is incredibly vital, because a lot of the healing journey is uncomfortable. And so to have a sense of humor through it all is fantastic. When she talks about an umless man, I'm like, that's awesome. Now I'm looking out in the world. Are there any other umless people? It takes a lot to be an umless person. Oh, it's fantastic. Here is my goal. As so many of you know, I myself have been on a recovering journey through disordered eating, body dysmorphia, and anxiety, some depression. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to call this playlist, rather than recovery, I decided I would call it recovering, because it keeps us all in a humble space, that this is an ongoing journey. Yes, we may have acute episodes, or we may have an underlying chronic situation. But regardless, this is the experience that we're having on this leg of the journey, and we are honoring it as we honor ourselves through it. See, the goal isn't necessarily to be healed, and it isn't to make this blasted, terrible, awful, disordered eating or body dysmorphia, anorexia, bulimia, anxiety, obsessive worry, OCD, PTSD, addictions to go away because they're the enemy. No, that's not our approach here. It didn't work for me. What I'm offering you is something different. Something more gentle, something more holistic, rather than looking at the disordered eating as the problem that needs to be corrected, the problem that needs to be fixed because it's broken. I say the disordered eating is really uncomfortable. And there are days when I would say to my husband, I'm out, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in my brain anymore. I'm tapping. It's really uncomfortable. But the disordered eating, less than being the enemy that needs to be fought off and punched in the face and told off. The disordered eating, what if we took the perspective that it is a symptom of a disconnect that we have with our own self, with our own body? A disconnect. That we have unfriended our body. And what we need to do is come back into relationship and connection with the body. And that's what this journey is about. Less about knocking out the enemy of disordered eating and addiction, and more about coming back down into the body and into a relationship with our body. Here's where it's difficult. Trauma exists within the body, and so it doesn't feel safe to be in the body. Things have happened to us, possibly to our bodies. Now there's trauma it doesn't feel safe to be in the body. So what do we need to do? We need to create a safe space. So this isn't a boxing ring where it's you against the disordered eating or the addiction or the anxiety. This is you and the disordered eating, the addiction, the anxiety against disconnection. And so it's a matter of saying, we want to be reconnected. Or here's another way of looking at it. You could say it's you and your body against the situation of disconnection. It's a matter of no longer fighting with the body. So it's you and the body stepping out of the boxing ring and saying, let's see what it would look like if we tried to be friends and reconnect. And let's see where the disconnect is. Let's see where the narrative is in the story that needs to be re-narrated so that we can better our relationship. You see, disordered eating is a symptom of pain, symptom of trauma, symptom of a story that would benefit from re-narrating, of creating new beliefs and replacing old ones. And we don't do this through shame, judgment, guilt, or condemnation. It won't work. It works through curiosity, compassion, and courage. Sit with it. Sit with it. Sit with it. I promise you it's going to be uncomfortable. I promise you it's going to be work. But I also promise you that we in the community will gather around you and you will not be alone in it. Someone might ask, how long is this going to take me to heal? I remember when I first started off on my journey, I wanted to know how long. Is it like a 3-month program, 6 months? Is this a year? Just give me the finish line so I've got something to look forward to. And what I would say to you is that it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. If you look at this less as an obstacle and more as an opportunity for you to learn some things about yourself and to come into deeper relationship with yourself. These are difficult, uncomfortable bits of work that you'll be doing. But the moment that you sit down and you do it, you're there. You're there. You're on the journey. And it's like if you were to get on, I'm inviting you on the train and we're going to go to I'm Healedville. While you're on the train, what I would encourage you is, rather than just sitting there with your blinders on saying, I'm going to go to I'm Healedville. I'm on my way to I'm Healedville. I'm on my way to I'm Healedville. What I would encourage you to do is take off those blinders, take out the earbuds, and look out the window at the beautiful scenery that will be passing. Have conversations in the train car, the boxcars with the people who are going to be there also. This is part of the journey, not just the destination, but this is part of the healing, is the journey. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't have a crystal ball. But I do know that as you put the effort in, and as you allow yourself to become curious, vulnerable, authentic, you will heal. You will heal. It will not take self-control. That's part of the issue, control. I don't want to talk about self-control. I hate the word control. Anybody who knows me knows, don't speak of control around her. She doesn't like that word. I like authority. I like power. I want you to come into your power, and I want you to lose having to be in control. That's not what about being on the train is. The train's going to take you there. Enjoy the journey. Destination, pretty well guaranteed if you stay on the train. If you stay doing the work, you'll heal. It will take a willingness to let go, a willingness to surrender. Now you're like, I don't know how to do that. I'm asking you to just be willing. Just be willing. Take the first step. I'm not even asking you to let go. I'm asking you to be willing to let go. I am willing to let go. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that, but I am willing to let go. I'm willing to be curious. I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to be compassionate and willing to be courageous. I'm willing to take just this one little step and then willing to take just the next little step. But I can only take the step I'm taking in the moment that I'm taking it. So you might as well just stay in this step. Let me tell you a story of a caterpillar, and you tell me where you are. We got a nice caterpillar here, kind of skinny and long. And he's eating. He's getting very plump. And he's going to crawl into a cocoon, a pupa. And as it's in that pupa, it becomes mush. It's not a caterpillar and it's not a butterfly. It's neither. And it stays in there for quite a long time by itself. You don't get two caterpillars in a cocoon. That doesn't work that way. One caterpillar in the cocoon. Now, I've seen it where there's lots of caterpillars hanging the cocoons upside down on a branch, but each one is in their own. So you can be together with others, but doing your own work and having your own journey along with everybody else. At the time when it feels right, this now butterfly of its own accord opens up the cocoon and sits atop that cocoon and flaps its wings and dries them for who knows how long. Each one is different. And then at just the appropriate time, it flies away. What I would ask is this. Take a few minutes. You know me, I'm all about my water. Grab your water. Because drinking water grounds things, pulls things from out here down into your body. And ask yourself, where am I on that journey? Caterpillar. Lots and lots of eating caterpillar in preparation for crawling into the cocoon. Crawling into the cocoon, in the cocoon, hanging out in the cocoon as mush. Finally, a butterfly in the cocoon making its way out. And then perching outside of that cocoon, drying its wings, and then finally flying. Where are you? Just ask yourself, where am I on this journey? And how willing am I to be on this journey? And that doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It just means you're willing. I think that I am a cat. I'm a butterfly, and I've taken a few flights, and it's been a little scary. So I've come right back to the cocoon, and I'm perched on that. And I think I'm ready pretty soon here to take a longer flight and to fly and leave the cocoon behind. And it's kind of scary. But it's not hard. It's just scary and uncomfortable. But you know what scary and uncomfortable feels like? Courage. Heart palpitating, palms sweating. Yeah, that's what courage feels like. So when everyone says, I don't know, it's kind of scary, and maybe you're just feeling courageous. And I want to end with this, guys. Remember what Jeff says to Jennette. The umless man says to Jennette, who is so afraid to have stepped on that scale, wearing her goddamn thick, heavy jeans and a hefty, lumpy cable knit sweater. He says, okay, let's get to work. Now listen, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a nutritionist. I am a certified eating psychology coach. But more than that, I am recovering. And I have my story that I'm willing to share with you and to create a community where we can all be in this space of recovering. So climb aboard the, what did I call it? The I'm recovered or I'm healed, I am healed train, because we'll be leaving shortly. Remember to subscribe, to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video comes up. In addition, comment, like, and share the video to grow this. There are a bunch of us who are recovering or who are willing to be in a space of recovering. And I'd like us to gather, and I'd like us to grow together. And if I can be of assistance to you on your journey, I have some links below in which you can contact me. Take care, everybody.